Welcome, folks, to Crypto News Global. I'm your host, Nick Toka. On today's show, we're going to find out why Bitcoin price is falling today. Also, Bitcoin bears target 200-day average as market concerns overshadows Trump crypto-related actions. And Samson Mao says U.S. government will acquire more Bitcoin for strategic Bitcoin reserve to beat China's holdings. All this and so much more on today's show. Welcome, folks, to Crypto News Global. I'm your host, Nick Toka. Today is March 9th, 2025, and Bitcoin still seems to be in a holding pattern, i.e. accumulation phase, down another 4.5% today. The whole crypto market's down a little bit. Now, it's definitely a good time to buy the dip. If you're able to, at least buy a little bit. It's probably a good idea. The price currently is at 82,477. I can't see the price going lower than 75 to 77,000. That for sure is rock bottom. I mean, we can never be sure, but in terms of historical trends, in terms of the moving pattern that we've seen and the head and shoulders pattern, in order to close, that's where we'll hit. I actually feel like we're going to be quite bullish from here on in. Let's get into the market watch and Bitcoin technical analysis for today and see what the market holds for us here. Bitcoin, as mentioned, currently at 82,456, down 4.6%. Ethereum down 6%, $2,061. Solana down 7%, $128. Sui down 5%, $2.36. Doge down 10%, 17 cents, and XRP down 6%, $2.18. Taking a look at the crypto bubbles, today we have 99% in the red. The only thing in the green is IP, 12.5% up. Everything else down between 5 and 10%. Render down 12%, Tel down 13%, Jasmy down 13%, Trump down 9%, Cardano down 7.5%. Bit of a wash all across the board today. Zooming out to the weekly, we have again everything down, 99% down. Trump down 32%, Jasmy 30%, Floki 30%, Hex 30%, Jupiter 37%, Near Protocol 25%, Bera 30%, Doge 25%. These are all in the negatives, even though I'm just calling out numbers. Pepe 30% down, Theta 30% down, Cardano 30% down. Shit. XRP 22.5% down. Let's zoom out to the monthly. Maybe we have some better looks here, and also very much red, about 95% in the red. Let's get into the crypto market cap. Bitcoin currently sitting at $1.631 trillion. Ethereum $248 billion, we'll call it. XRP $126.5 billion. Solana $65 billion, Cardano $26 billion, Doge $25 billion, Tron at number 10 at $22 billion market cap. The total market cap for the entire crypto industry is $2.66 trillion, with Bitcoin holding 61.38% of that, and Ethereum 9.3%, XRP 4.76%, BNB coin 3%. Currently, we're in a 20, which is extreme fear. Yesterday was a 27 in fear, and last week was a 33 in fear. And again, generally, when we get in the extreme areas, i.e. extreme fear, we'll probably see a pump. And it goes the opposite when we're way up in the green. Extreme greed, normally we see a bit of a pullback. There are approximately 1,130 days left until the next Bitcoin halving in the year 2028, and there's 162,899 blocks left to mine until that time, and of course until the year 2140, where the last coin is mined. We've got 1,165,310 blocks left to go. Market cap by assets here, we have gold $19.6 trillion, Apple at $3.6 trillion, Microsoft $2.9 trillion, Nvidia $2.7, Google $2.12 trillion, Amazon $2.11 trillion, silver $1.856, Saudi Aramco 1.7, and Bitcoin backwards in the number 9 position now at 1.623 trillion, followed by number 10 Meta at 1.585 trillion, and you can currently get 1,216 satoshis for 1 fiat US dollar. And speaking of the US dollar, the debt clock keeps on ticking in the wrong direction. Currently at 36,576,325,000,000, which equals $107,012 per U.S. citizen, or $323,047 per U.S. taxpayer. The big bucks keep rolling in the wrong direction. And speaking of the wrong direction, we have Bitcoin now a few days. Instead of it being up and pumping after the U.S. Bitcoin Reserve was signed, we're having the exact opposite effect to that, strangely enough. So why is Bitcoin price falling today? Bitcoin price has left several investors scratching their heads after the asset dipped below 84,000 following a wave of bullish fundamentals in the past week. Bitcoin's recent price action pales in comparison to the projection mooted by analysts after the signing of Strategic Bitcoin Reserve. Bitcoin price falls below 84,000 amid lackluster on-chain indicators. The largest cryptocurrency by market capitalization has shed nearly 4% off its value over the last day. At the moment, the Bitcoin price is hanging on to 83,000 with an on-chain indicator painting a grim picture for the asset. Bitcoin's 7-day chart confirms a 3.5% decline, while daily trading volumes are down by a staggering 53%. Alongside the falling metrics, Bitcoin whales are scooping coins en masse, racking up over 22,000 Bitcoin in 3 days. They are buying the dip. The recent decline in Bitcoin price follows a bullish week capped by the signing of an executive order for a strategic Bitcoin reserve by the U.S. government, a crypto summit at the White House, and declarations by the OCC for cryptocurrencies were expected to send prices rallying. However, the reverse appears to be the case, with Bitcoin price threatening to slip below 80K. In my entire 8 years of being in Bitcoin, I don't know if I've ever seen price action more disconnected from the news, said an analyst. This week was possibly the most bullish week in Bitcoin history, and we're dumping. That's exactly what I'm saying too. Why are prices falling after a bullish week? There are several reasons for unsavory prices after the rally inducing fundamentals of the past week. Right off the bat, macroeconomic factors like tariff implementation by the U.S. have triggered sell-offs for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Furthermore, the release of non-farm payrolls report on Friday signaled that monetary tightening by the Feds could be on the horizon, negatively affecting Bitcoin price. Experts say an executive order for a strategic Bitcoin reserve and crypto summit without the actionable policies may have dampened the enthusiasm of investors. Bitcoin's decline is dragging altcoins underwater, with ETH, XRP, and BNB losing 3.5%, 6.5%, and almost 5%. respectively, over the last day. After recording over 150 million in liquidations, the global cryptocurrency market stands at 2.68 trillion, falling by nearly 6% over the last day. Yeah, so agreed. This is certainly should have been the most bullish day and week in Bitcoin history, but instead we are dumping. So we're talking about tariffs here. The non-farm payroll should have actually been a good thing for Bitcoin. So again, it seems to be doing the opposite. It's doing the reverse Kramer on us. And again, Bitcoin does what Bitcoin wants to do. It's on its own vector. I've said it before, we don't need Trump. We don't need the U.S. government. Bitcoin is going to the moon regardless, based on the limited supply of 21 million coins and based on basic economics, which say lots of demand and zero supply equals higher price. So I'm going to keep it 100 and keep going on that route there. Now, on the other hand, Bitcoin bears target 200-day average as macro concerns overshadows Trump crypto-related actions. Macro concerns, mainly tariff-related, overshadow Trump's crypto announcements, one observer noted. Bitcoin bears looked to penetrate key support Sunday, extending a 3-day losing streak as macroeconomic concerns overshadow President Trump's recent crypto-related announcements. The leading cryptocurrency by market value slipped over 3% to 83,200, testing the 200-day simple moving average, according to CoinDesk and TradingView data. Prices have dropped over 10% since putting highs above 92,800 on Thursday. The latest decline comes as trade tensions between the U.S. and China are set to escalate on Monday. Beijing will levy tariffs on certain U.S. agricultural goods in retaliation for President Trump's latest hike on Chinese imports. The tariff war has injected significant uncertainty in the market and for policymakers. On Friday, Fed Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell reaffirmed that the central bank will maintain its cautious stance on interest rate while assessing the economic impact of President Donald Trump's policy shifts. The comments came on the heels of a soft U.S. non-farm payroll report and expectations for at least 3 Fed rate cuts this year. According to observers, these developments, coupled with recessionary signals from the bond market, are taking focus away from Trump's recent announcement of a strategic Bitcoin stockpile. Despite the very positive news, Bitcoin fell 4% from 90,000 to under 87,000 in hours. It appears focus on Trump's crypto-related actions are increasingly secondary as tariff war fears accelerate, analytics firm Into the Block said in this weekly newsletter to subscribers Friday. The firm added that macro concerns, mainly tariff-related, have been pushing down markets, noting the strengthening positive correlation between Bitcoin, Ether, and U.S. stocks. Further actions, like Trump stating he's not even looking at the stock market and his administration targeting lower long-term interest rates instead, suggest that investor expectations of a Trump bull market may have been too eager, the firm said. Noel Atchison, the author of Crypto is Macro Now, said in Saturday's edition that BTC's dour price action in the wake of the strategic stockpile announcement underscores how macro concerns still weigh heavy on crypto assets. The chart shows buyers stepped in below the 200-day moving average on February 28th and March 2nd, leading to a price bounce. The market will likely keep an eye on this level to see if traders do the same again. And here we are, exactly right back at that $82,000 level. So we shall see what happens tomorrow. Generally, look, we already took a peek at the fear and greed index, and we are in extreme fear. So there can't be too many days of this extreme fear until things start pumping again. So I am guessing and hoping that we do see a pump over the next couple days coming up. We have others, of course, that have a different outlook on what should be happening with Bitcoin, and specifically how U.S. is going to have to work with this strategic Bitcoin reserve, because Samson Mao says U.S. government will acquire more BTC for strategic Bitcoin reserve to beat China's holdings. They have to win the race, right? Samson Mao, the CEO of Bitcoin-focused tech firm Jan3, believes that the U.S. has a legitimate reason to increase its BTC holdings. Mao says on social media platform X that some crypto investors find strategic Bitcoin reserve underwhelming, as President Trump's executive order largely focuses on not selling the government-seized Bitcoin. Some Bitcoiners are saying the strategic Bitcoin reserve doesn't do anything because it's just seize assets and there's no buying. But Mao says the creation of the strategic Bitcoin reserve is immense and has triggered the real race for nation-state Bitcoin adoption. Yeah, man. He also says that a full audit of the government's Bitcoin trove will reveal that the U.S. is not the top BTC holder by country. It's likely it does have the 207,000 to 220,000 Bitcoin number that many news sites usually go with. This would put China in the pole position with 194,000 Bitcoin. In 2016, the crypto exchange Bitfinex lost about 120,000 BTC after suffering a massive security incident. The U.S. government seized 95,000 BTC tied to the hack, so they have to give those 95,000 back. So that's the math there. China, 194,000. U.S. up to 220,000, but they need to then subtract the 95,000, so we're talking about 125,000 max BTC for the U.S. strategic Bitcoin reserve as we speak. According to Mao, the U.S. government will not allow a world where China has the largest Bitcoin stash. Now, you can imagine why that won't be acceptable. With Bitcoin being deemed as strategic, the U.S. will want to have the most. There will definitely be an audit of the supply and then adding to it. Yeah, I agree with that. They, of course, are going to try and find some type of workaround where it's a budget-friendly way of obtaining more Bitcoin, but definitely there has to be some creative ways of doing this. There always is. They'll take from somewhere else that doesn't apply to the budget, and then they'll put it toward the Bitcoin. That would be my guess. It only makes sense. Additionally, they could go back and talk about how having sold, or the Biden administration having sold the Bitcoin that they had cost them almost $17 billion, and that could justify buying more Bitcoin. That's not budget friendly, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully you found this stream helpful, guys, in understanding what's going on with Bitcoin today. Please, if you did, I am on a mission to have over 500 to 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year. So please jump in and join me for the ride and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. And remember, everyone, money is abundant and money is everywhere. There's $900 trillion of assets in the world as we speak. Time is what's scarce, so use your time wisely. Spend less money than what you earn. And if you suddenly make more money, save more money. Don't start spending more money, and start saving when you're young. If you start saving when you're teens or early 20s, you should be able to retire when you're 40 or 45. If you have a great idea, don't wait for tomorrow. Even if you're not ready, start today. Even if you're not ready, and things will come together. If you found this stream enjoyable, please share, like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you on the next stream, folks. Thanks so much for joining.